So I'm going to go back to something else you mentioned. You were giving the example of an apple, and for most people, your blood sugars would rise. I know that as a type 1 diabetic because I will have to take insulin
Yeah.
for an apple if I ever eat an apple. I mean, I don't now. I haven't eaten an apple for 7 years. And then blood sugars, of course, start dropping down. And that's exactly what would happen in a non-diabetic person, except that they're not wearing the CGM like I do, and they don't have an insulin pump, obviously, so they can't see how much insulin their pancreas is pumping out. And they're not aware of how high their blood sugars are going. But one example I always give on this channel is that after an apple or a meal of pasta or bread, as the blood sugars rise, sharp rise, and then they start dropping sharply. As they're dropping down, before I even get to hypoglycemic levels, as they're dropping down, I start feeling hungry again and shaky and dizzy, and I get back to the fridge, and and even at figures which aren't technically hypoglycemic, I would feel like I could just devour the whole fridge right now. And that's that hunger, that craving is a feeling you cannot control. You cannot control.
It's such a good point there. That's a really good point, that it's not just the level, it's actually whether it's falling or rising. So, and it's the same when it goes the other way. So you'll find people who eat chocolate quite regularly or something, you know, they might have a confectionery bar and immediately they feel that they could run the country, take on the world. There's just this surge in sugar, literally energy. They feel energetic, they feel powerful, but that surge up, so you haven't hit the big heights yet, but just the on the way up is having an effect. The height then also has an effect, but you're so right to remind us that on the way down, as well as the depth, the dip, are the two bad periods when, and you physically get the symptoms. You get them as a diabetic, my brother gets them as a diabetic, but I've seen dieters get them when they're not managing their blood glucose levels, and they get clammy hands and they get a bit shaky hands, a little bit sweaty, can't concentrate, can't think of anything other than food. How do you expect to be able to get through your job and work and pick the kids up from school and make dinner and all the rest of it when you're just on this glucose roller coaster all day long?